if you're excited to be here, also give me some of the emojis I have there. Give me the clapping hand, the confetti, any of the emoji that you feel, your best emoji. If you're excited to be here, give your best emoji before we go ahead with what we have for today. Yes, and also use this time to invite as much people that I know will learn from this or would appreciate this knowledge. So invite your friends, your family, your co-workers, other professionals, people that you know that use AI. I think everybody uses AI. So invite everybody that you can invite, because this session promises to be a packed session. So if you can help as much people as possible while learning on your own too. So just share the link to this session for as much people as possible so that they can also gain from this knowledge. So before I start, I'll just give us a brief introduction of what the topic for today is, why you're inviting others. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just give us a brief introduction, why you invite your friends and family to partake in this session. Okay, the topic is ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Which AI fits your job best? Yes, most of us have heard of these tools. I think the most popular here is ChatGPT. Most of us have heard of ChatGPT. We don't know, we know what it's used for, or it's for basic things. We use it as an alternative to Google. But the nearest future, I would like to say from now till the end of this world, I think AI is going to change the way things are done, both in terms of automation, both in terms of knowledge seeking, both in terms of applicability in real life situation. Most people are already making the best out of it. There is a company called Cluely, and what Cluely did recently is that they created an app all with AI that is from beginning to the end, both the marketing, both the sales, both the strategy. It's AI that did everything. Just a team of 5 people working with AI. Most of them don't have any technical background, any experience, or any technical education to handle these things. But within 4 days, they were able to sell off the company in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now it's run by some people in China. But the company was initiated totally by AI from inception to the end. So in this session, we are going to teach you how to use AI to improve your own processes, whether it's a job that you do or whether you're a student and want to improve the quality of answers you give. Because if you notice, even with how popular it has become, there's still a level of, let's say, reluctance that comes with acceptance of AI. People have not accepted it as much as possible. But if you are able to use it efficiently, you'll be able to make the most out of it. So that is just a brief introduction. I thought there'll be more people, because I told you guys to invite your friends while I'm still introducing what the topic is all about. But I don't see as much people. So just use this time, get this link, give it to your friends, give it to your family, give it to your co-worker, anyone that you know use AI. And as I said, every single person uses AI. So give it to everybody that you know that will gain from this session. Before we go ahead, I want to just give us some ground rules so that we'll make the most out of this session, because most of us are busy people, and I wouldn't want us to stay beyond the time that we are allocated for this. So the first rule is, please, throughout this session, everyone should keep their mic muted unless you are called upon to speak. And we are also going to give a time for question and answer, so you can use that. Of course, when that time reaches, ask any question, you use the raise hand icon. So raise hand icon is next to the caption icon if you're using it from a laptop. But if you're not using it from a laptop, it's next to the emoji icon. So use the raise hand icon when we get to the question and answer phase. If you have any questions to ask and you'll be called upon, then you can unmute your mic and speak. So the second ground rule is let everyone turn off their camera so that we don't distract each other, because you might be doing something and your mind might be what you are doing. So I and my co-facilitators are the only one allowed to turn on their camera. So if you got all those rules, give me a thumbs up so that we can go ahead. If you got those rules, give me your favorite emoji. It must not be a thumbs up. Any emoji your hand falls on, just give it to me. Okay. So let's go ahead. So before we go ahead, let's talk about who brought this program to our table. Let me share that again. Okay. let's talk about who made this session possible. So this session was made possible by 10 Analytics Business. 10 Analytics Business might have heard of that name before, but I know it's a popular brand. 10 Analytics, or maybe you have just heard of 10 Analytics, but not 10 Analytics Business. If you have heard of 10 Analytics Business, give me an emoji. Give me the heart emoji, because we all love 10 Analytics. Give me the heart emoji if you have heard of 10 Analytics before. Okay, I'm seeing that some of us have. Vivian have heard of 10 Analytics, they have heard of 10 Analytics. Yes. So for those that have not heard of 10 Analytics, who is this 10 Analytics? So 10 Analytics Business is a leading e-learning platform designed to help organizations across the world empower their teams with wide array of professional development. So it's just a platform to help organizations improve productivity with professional development. So they train in different skill, any skill that can improve professionals. We have worked with various businesses from CUDA to Fairmoney to InfraSwitch to more international businesses like Microsoft and the rest. So they have access to top quality courses across diverse disciplines. And 10 Analytics Business addresses continuous learning. Sorry about that. So they ensure continuous learning to ensure that we meet the needs of, we help organization meet the needs of today's problem. So because we know the business environment is changing, the world is changing as a whole, and we want to make sure that Nigeria and the black race as a whole is not left back in this race. So we don't want a situation where every other countries or more developed countries are taking advantage of these opportunities, but we are unable to take these advantages. So that is what brought about this 10 Analytics Business. So we are just dedicated to empowering businesses, professionals, and everyday people with skill. So I just introduced 10 Analytics Business, and I would like all of us to introduce ourselves. So no need to mute your mic to introduce yourself. Just in the comment section, tell us your name, tell us what you do, and where you are joining us from. So I want to see comments now. I need everyone to drop their name, where they are joining from, and what they do. That is their skill or career of choice. I can also add why you joined this session, what you hope to gain from this session. You can also add that too. So Vivian has dropped her name. So Vivian, you did not tell us where you're from or what you do. So please, we need you guys to engage so you can get the most out of this session. Is it only Vivian that is here? Okay, I'm seeing more names now. Vivian is a data analyst trained by 10 Analytics. Oh, Vivian is an alumni and she's back for more. So Vivian is joining us all the way from Canada. Joshua from Lagos. I need more names and more, like your name, your location, and what you do. Basically that. Okay, Adetunji from Lagos is a bank officer. Alawale from Sapele. Babatunde is a security specialist in the telecom sector. Yes, so more names are coming in. Michael is a data analyst from Ondo State. So the first thing you'll notice from these names that are coming, you see that we come from diverse background, and not to worry, everyone can gain from this. Every single person, no matter your background, no matter your skill level, no matter your knowledge level, or whether you have used AI before or not, you can always gain from this session. But as I said, AI is the future, and this is an opportunity for you to make the best out of the future. Some names are still coming in. We have Dankat from Lagos. We have Emmanuel from Zaria. So we are coming from different parts of Nigeria and different parts of the world. I saw someone from Canada earlier. I think that is Vivian. So as I said, we can all gain from this knowledge that is about to be shared. So I've introduced analytics. You've introduced yourself, but I'm here to introduce myself. So as you can see here, this is me. It's my giant suit. I'm a passionate educator, a data expert, and career strategist with close to half a decade years of experience in delivering data and artificial intelligence solution. So please, as I said earlier, please let's try to turn off our camera and mute our mic so that we don't have these frequent distractions. Okay, as I was saying, I have close to half a decade years of experience in living data and artificial intelligence solution. So I work as a senior data science associate here at Analytics, where I help students in both technical and soft skill. My work focuses on transforming novice to job-ready professionals. So it's not just novice to experts. That's not where it stops. I try as much as possible to make sure that you are job-ready. So this job readiness includes helping to improve your placement in markets, to put you in a place where you can get opportunities, to put you in a place where opportunities come to you and make the most out of your skills. Because if your skills does not give you a job or give you money in any sense, I think it's not really beneficial. So I've worked with clients across Canada, UK, US, both in data science, machine learning, data analysis, market research, and also training for those things. So I've worked on both practical and project that requires more of training. I have a strong commitment to career transformation, and I have successfully taught and mentored over 300 individuals in data science and artificial intelligence. When I say 300 individuals, I'm not just saying that I was able to teach them data and artificial intelligence. I'm saying that we're able to move them from novice to job-ready professionals. That is, from beginner level to job readiness, allowing them to seamlessly transition into tech and secure meaningful roles in the data industry. And with this experience and this knowledge that I have, I also want to try as much as possible to impact us in today's session. Remember, I said earlier that Analytics business is focused on equipping people with skills that help them to survive today's environment. So I want to try as much as possible, like within the next 1 hour, 2 hours, to help us get some skills that will make us job ready. But as I mentioned, we only have maximum of 2 hours within this session, and within that 2 hours, you cannot learn every single thing, or you cannot take every single opportunity that comes with artificial intelligence. But towards the end of the program, you would see a step-by-step approach that you can take to make the most out of this opportunity. If you are ready for what we have for today, just type yes in the chat box and give a heart emoji. That is yes and heart emoji. Yes and heart emoji. Once I see 10 yeses and 10 heart emojis, we'll start. So drop your yes in the chat box. Okay, D-Base give us a yes. I'm seeing thumbs up. Yes. Give me emojis. Give me thumbs up. Give me a yes in the chat box, and we can go ahead. Okay, I think that's enough yeses and enough emojis. So let's just start. So as I said, invite everyone that you know into this session so that we can make the most out of it, so you can help them, because there's no greater love than teaching somebody how to fish. So invite your friends, your family, your junior ones, whether they are students, whether they are graduates, whether they are working professionals, whether they have tons of years of experience, or whether they are novices. Invite them so that they can make the most out of this, because this promises to be a session that will help them to take the most out of the technology that is going to describe or define the future for us. So as I said, the topic is ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Which AI tool best fits your job? So before we go into that, we are going to try to learn some key terms that will help us understand what I'm about to talk about. So the first thing we are going to learn is AI automation. So AI automation consists of two words, AI and automation. So what it refers to in compound form is the use of AI to perform tasks that would normally require human thinking, judgment, or decision making without or with minimal human intervention. So if you just hear this definition, the first thing that will come to your mind is replacement. So it's just using artificial intelligence. Most of us have heard of artificial intelligence. So you are using artificial intelligence to do the tasks that humans normally do with little or no human efforts or human intervention entirely. So as I said, the first thing that comes to your mind here is replacement. But this kind of technology does not replace, it improves. Because personally, I have a background in economics, and there's something we call labor saving tools in economics. We have what's called labor saving and labor augmentation. So labor saving are like technologies that replaces people, that make us to have little to no need for people. For example, will I say tractor? So if you get a tractor in your farm, you don't need as much people to be tilling your soil for you. So that is what we call labor saving tool. But we have what we call labor augmentation. So labor augmentation adds more people to it. It makes more people to be involved. It increases the productivity of whoever is involved. Because I know before the advent of TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, we had comedians, but with those technology, they have greater reach. They can reach broader audiences. They can target more customers, get more deals, just have more publicity in general. That is what labor augmentation is all about. It creates technology to empower people. So technology here does not just exist alongside people, but it also empowers people. It makes them more productive. So as I said, AI automation is a labor augmentation tool. So it's so what is now the AI automation? Because if you can see from AI automation, it consists of two words: AI and automation. AI and automation. So what is automation? Automation means using software or machines to carry out repetitive or rule-based tasks. So things that would have required repetition, you are now using technology to help you with that. So you are now seeing how AI augments labor, as I mentioned earlier, labor augmentation that I mentioned earlier. AI augments labor by allowing us to do things like repetitive tasks. Oh, my screen is no longer sharing, so let me share my screen again. So by allowing us to perform repetitive tasks without so allowing us to perform repetitive tasks and rule-based tasks without manual intervention or human intervention. So instead of us writing scripts, instead of me having to type everything that we are doing within this meeting, if you look at the top right hand corner of your screen, you see you see the Gemini icon there. The Gemini icon is transcribing everything that we are saying. So if you want to get any information on what we are saying, you can easily transcribe it here without having somebody typing every single thing I'm saying now. So that is one way you can see AI automation in use. So what is now this AI? AI is a system that can learn, reason, or make decisions based on data. So you give it data and it makes decision from it. So you might have heard of ChatGPT. I think that's the most popular AI tool. You might have heard of Gemini. As you see here, Gemini is taking the data of my voice, of what we are saying within this meeting, and it's writing down this information, transcribing it for us to use. If you are joining with a laptop, you see the CC symbol next to the emoji. That CC symbol helps us to translate whatever I am saying. So it's like more of a subtitle. So this subtitle now is made possible with AI, and it's automating the process that somebody would have done before. So somebody might have to type write the minutes of this meeting. I think in the early days of remote work, that's how it was. There will be someone writing the minutes of every online meeting and share it with the participants. But now we have AI tools that can automate this process. And if you actually want the minutes of this meeting along with the recording of this meeting, I'm currently recording this, you can fill in the attendance form that my colleague is my colleague dropped in the chat box. So there's an attendance form there. If you fill it, you get access to these slides I'm using. You get access to the transcription of this meeting, as well as the recording of this meeting. So for those that joined late, I mentioned that we should try to turn off our camera and turn off our mic so that we don't distract others. So if you got all I've said so far, can you give me a thumbs up? I know I've said a lot. If you got every single thing I've said, give me a thumbs up before I move ahead. Okay, I'm seeing only one thumbs up, so only one person. Okay, yes, I'm seeing multiple thumbs up now. Okay, so as I said, this AI automation, they create processes that don't just do things faster, or make decisions more efficient, intelligently. So we are no more these decisions are no more affected by human bias, human disadvantages, because as human we get tired. You might sit down for long and you start getting tired, or you might read through a lot of text and start getting tired. For example, if you notice within this call, at the beginning stage, I tried to read all the information on all the introduction that people were dropping in the chat box. But at one point, I got tired of it and I continued with the process. But if you are using an AI tool, it won't be tired of that. It will be able to take those information efficiently. So let's go to the next page on our slide. So what are AI assistants? Because the tools that we talked about at the beginning, that is the ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all those are what we call AI assistants. So they are not necessarily automation tools, or more of assistant. That is, they assist in tasks that people do. So what are AI assistants? They automate thinking, writing, coding, and decision tasks. So when we talk about AI automation, we say we are using AI to automate processes. You are using AI to stop repetitions in processes. But when we are not talking about AI assistants, that's the tool itself that does that automation, that the tool that does those tasks, that make those decisions, they are called AI assistants. So they interpret inputs, generate outputs, and support workflow. Some of us might have used AI, like I saw someone mention that they are students, and that person mentioned they are data analysts, might have used AI one way or the other. And if you look at how you use AI, you have to give it an input and to give you an output. But it can be used in a more, let's say, robust way than that. You can also use it to support workflow. Or you want a situation that anybody sends you an email, something automatically replies it. That is something that AI can do. So if for example, you fill the form, by the end of this session, you automatically receive the recording of the session, along with the transcription, along with these slides that are used within this session. That is an example of AI automation to support workflow. So someone does not have to take every email one after the other and start sending the recordings and the slide. That will be very manual and very tiring in general. And because of how important these AI assistants are, people have created different models that have different strengths. So there are different models that exist, different AI models that exist to help with this, and each of them have their own strengths and they also have their own weaknesses. So how do you make the most of these tools? How do you ensure that the tool that you are using is the one that is the strongest, or the one that is best for the task? So we are going to be going through that, but we are going to be taking it step by step. I'm just going to use a few tools as our mode of reference. So let's do that. Wait, sorry, I'm having an issue sharing this slide. Let me just share my second screen generally. Okay. Okay. So the first tool we are going to look at is ChatGPT. And I think ChatGPT is the most popular AI tool, and that is why we are starting from there. So what is this ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is a tool released by OpenAI. The first demo of this tool was was released in November 30th, 2022. And personally, I would say since November 30th, 2022, my profession, I'm a data scientist, so my profession was no longer the same. Different changes happened, new jobs came into data science based on just ChatGPT alone, just this one tool. New jobs came into data science, new tasks, new things that we could do, new products that we can create. Possibility became endless. Software engineers too. I'm sure of software engineers, I'm sure of data analysts, I'm sure of HR, because now if you submit your CV for some jobs, in most of the cases, it's an AI tool that goes through the CV and recommend to the HR which of the candidates they can call for an interview. The same to its admission system. If you're applying for scholarships, you're applying for masters, you're applying for PhD, whether abroad or at home, your application process in most cases are done by AI tools. That is, AI tools look through your application, make decisions of whether you're admitted or not, and automate that whole process. So some of them have to sit down in one place to do that. And this change came just 2022, just 3 years ago. And you saw how much it have affected every area of our life, from work to education to professional development to even day-to-day interaction. If you go to social media now, you can evidently see AI posts, you can see AI videos, AI related content in general. So this ChatGPT was created by using sample of everything. That is, they use data from people's blog, from people's websites, from books, from library, from computer program. They use it to train this model. So this model have, like, say, almost all of the combination of human knowledge. So it have almost all the combination of human knowledge without human bias, although itself has its own bias, but it is non-human bias. So it's not bias that is driven by emotion, but it is bias that is driven by output. So that's why I mentioned that all of them have their own weaknesses, and we are going to see some of the bias that each of these two have and how to make a better decision on which one to use exactly. So this OpenAI was founded in December 2015 by Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, Elon Musk, Ilya Sutskever, Wojciech Zaremba, and John Schumann. So these guys came together and founded OpenAI in 2015, but they were not able to make any breakthrough till November 30th, 2022, when they released the first demo of ChatGPT. So a brief overview of ChatGPT. It is a general purpose assistant, so it does not only do one thing. I know most of us only know it for one thing. Like for some of us as students, we know it for helping us with our assignments, or helping us with cheating, cheating on assignment, cheating on classwork, cheating on projects, and so on. But that is not what it's limited to. It is a general purpose assistant. It helps in everyday tasks. Whether I want to research about a company, whether I want to analyze data, you can just upload the data to ChatGPT now and tell it, give me the code to create a visualization, and to do it for you. And with let's say a good level of accuracy, a very good level of accuracy. It's also great for reasoning and structured workflow. So if you already know what you want, it is easy to get good output from ChatGPT. So if you have something that is structured and you just need like an assistant to bounce idea with, that is, you want to test different ideas, I need an assistant to help you with that, ChatGPT can be your assistant. So let's say you have a research idea, but you don't know how to bring it into fruition, you don't know how to design the experiments to make the most out of that research. ChatGPT can help you with that. And it's also good for coding and analytics support. I myself, I know I use it for coding a lot. If I'm stuck and I don't know what to do when I'm working with a very complex code, or I'm working with a tool that I have not used before, ChatGPT is really my go-to assistant to that. So it's ChatGPT I try first before thinking of trying any other tool. Although most of these coding tools now have internalized assistant, that is, they have assistant within those tools that help with tasks. But ChatGPT is still one of the best because it can do this thing without context. When I'm talking about context poisoning, is that sometimes the code within those tools might have bias based on what you have done so far. So let's say you were trying to create an app that, let's say, pet store app, that is an app where you can buy pets. And by the time you were creating the code, you realize that, oh, you can also use it as something that you can also use it for something to make transaction in different parts of the world. So he decided to scrap the pet store idea and turn it to something to help for international transaction. If you are using those tools within those coding platforms, since you started with the idea of a pet store, if you continue with that idea before losing control, that is, it keeps building on the base that you started with. But something like ChatGPT, if you use an outside tool like ChatGPT, it does not have that context poisoning. The context that you started with does not affect its output. So you can always go to it as an assistant to help you with coding and analytics support. So what are the strengths and weaknesses of ChatGPT? The first strength is that it is versatile. Remember I said it is a general purpose tool and it was trained on billions of human knowledge. So it has most of the combination of all of human knowledge from ancient history to more recent history. Okay, Deborah, I'm seeing in the chat box that there's a problem with the attendance form. So please, can you look into that? So as I mentioned, it's how the combination of the knowledge from the whole of human history, the recorded knowledge from the whole of human history. So everything that we recorded was fed into ChatGPT to bring this knowledge that we have now. So because of that, it is versatile. So you can ask it different things from different background, about different tools, about different softwares, about different ideas in general. Secondly, it has a very strong logic and is also a great coding support. Remember, I mentioned that it is not limited by human biases, although it has its own bias. Like I mentioned, one of the bias, which is context poisoning. It also have the bias of what we call hallucination. So hallucination is when it tries to give knowledge, give wrong information, but with strong confidence. So you might ask ChatGPT something, it is wrong, but because of how it has been programmed to give outputs, it will tell you those wrong things with strong confidence, like if it is very sure. My friend usually say it's saying rubbish with confidence. So it will be saying the rubbish, but because of the confidence, it will be easily believable. And because of the reputation it already has as a strong knowledge source, you also trust it. And this can lead to great level of misinformation. And if you're someone that have worked on any coding tasks or any writing tasks, you might have noticed this. And that's why in most cases, you still have to make some improvements on the output that is given to you by ChatGPT. You see, another reason why I mentioned that it is labor augmenting. So you don't throw away the human totally from the whole process, but instead you see it as an assistant. It helps you become more productive, but it does not replace you. Another strength is that it works well across business workflow. So we are talking about workflow. You can think of the example that we said about email automation. That is, after you fill the form, immediately this call ends, you receive the recording, receive the transcription, you also receive these slides that I'm using now. So ChatGPT is something that is strong in that, so it can easily summarize processes and let's say automate them too. And one of the strong weaknesses is that the output quality depends on prompt clarity. So you and I can ask ChatGPT the same question, we'll get different answer, but the quality of our answer is usually determined by how good I phrase the question. There are many rules that comes with actually asking this question, and before the end of this session, you get more information on how you can learn those rules and how you can put it into processes. I also saw a comment in the chat box on how do we automate the recording, delivery, the slide delivery, and the rest from filling the attendance form. If you want to learn more about it, later on within this session, somebody is going to tell you the practical steps that you can follow to get the most out of these tools and master, let's say, AI and AI automation generally. So if you're excited about that, give me a thumbs up or send me your favorite emoji before I go ahead. I'm not seeing any thumbs up, so I'm not even sure you guys are hearing me or you understood everything I've said. So give me a thumbs up. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up now. So let's go ahead to the next tool. The next tool is Gemini. So Gemini is owned by Google. Yes, I'm seeing all the thumbs up. I'm seeing all the confettis. Gemini is owned by Google. So if you look at the color scheme of the logo, you see it has the same color scheme as Google. That is the primary colors, that is red, yellow, green, blue. It has those, like just like your Gmail, just like Chrome. These are the colors you expect from Google generally. So Google saw what ChatGPT had done and decided to create an alternative, which is this Gemini. So one strong advantage of Gemini is that it is multimodal. So it works for text, it works for image, it works for data. As I mentioned, this meeting is being transcribed, it's being recorded thanks to Gemini. So Gemini is working with my voice, it's working with my movement, it's working with everything that is going on, it's working with the slides that I am sharing, and it's using that to give to make those transcription and analyzing that to give an output. So that's why I mentioned that it is multimodal. It works with both text, image, data, sound, and so on. Second key thing about, okay, I thought my screen was still sharing. Let me share it again. So once you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Okay, but I saw someone mention that they couldn't see my screen. Okay. Another key advantage is that it has strong research and synthesis ability. What we know Google for is research. From the beginning, I just know Google as a research tool. So if I had any issue, like I want to learn about anything, like come across any information I've not had before, the first thing that comes to my mind is to go and ask Google. That's why it became a verb at one point. So Google stopped being a noun, that's the name of the company, and became a verb at one point. So if someone asks, do you know who I am? Say Google it. So it's now like a verb because we know how strong it is with research and synthesis ability. So this research ability of Google was also a defining feature, or is also a defining feature of Gemini. And another key advantage of Gemini is that it integrates deeply with Google Workspace. So it was created by Google and it works across all Google tools. It's very easy to connect it to different Google tools. So even as I mentioned, this meeting is Google Meet. That's why Gemini is used within it. If it's your Gmail, you want to automate process your Gmail, Gemini is the best for it. If you want to automate processes that concern uploading something to Google Drive, Google Cloud, Google Classroom, all the Google products, is Gemini that is the best for it. And within those products, you always see a version of Gemini. If you browse on Chrome now, you will see what we call AI mode. So you can click on AI mode and it is Gemini that will give you an output. If you go to Gmail, you can click on something and to summarize what each email is all about. And it's Gemini that does that. If you go to your Google Drive and want to automate something, it's Gemini that does that. Even within this meeting, this transcription is done by Gemini. So if you are working on anything that has to do with Google Workspace, whether it's Google Drive, Google Sheets, all the Google tools, Gemini is your go-to resource for that. So to the next page of the slide, what are the key strengths and weaknesses of Gemini? So the strength is excellent for search, research, and analysis, as I mentioned, and it's also great for media and creative work. So remember when we started this session, we saw a lot of people came from different backgrounds. So if you're someone that works with media or someone that works in creative space, as whether a social media manager, a photographer, a musician, an influencer, and so on. And I think all these things are now part of almost every job. The best thing to use is Gemini. Gemini is best for everything concerning media and creativity. And one of the key weakness of Gemini, and I think it's also a weakness when it comes to Google, and sometimes a strength actually, is that the results vary by device and region. So it depends on the device that you get or the or where you are located. The results that Gemini gives to you would be different. So someone that use Gemini the same way, using the same prompt in Lagos, we get a different result from someone that is in US and is doing the exact same thing. So I think that is a very strong disadvantage of Gemini. So now we are going to the next two. The next two is Claude. I think this is the least popular one we have talked about so far. Cloud. So is it Cloud or Claude? Let me call it Claude, but some people call it Cloud. Forgive my strong Nigerian accent. That's why I'm calling it Cloud. So let's call it Claude. So Claude is known for thoughtful communication. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of network issue. So let me just continue from where I stopped. Okay. So as I was saying, Claude is known for thoughtful communication. So in what sense do I mean thoughtful communication? If you notice recently, or I don't even think it's something that needs to be researched about, it's something that is just is if you see a product or let's say a note written by ChatGPT, it's easy to tell that it is not a human being that made this, that gave this information or that wrote this content. That is where Claude excels. Claude writes like if it is a human being, gives outputs like it gives a more human output compared to this product. So if you are working on things that requires documentation, writing, analysis, and the rest, Claude is your best tool to use because Claude gives, let's say, humanity to speak. It speaks like a human being. It talks like a human being. Its output looks more human. So if you're using it for a research, or maybe you are thinking of social media ideas. Let's say you want to make a post on LinkedIn or Twitter, like all these more text-based social media platform, or your CV too, maybe document process within your work. Claude is the best tool to use because it sounds more human. It can sound professional, but sound like a human being and not sound too mechanical, robotic like these other AI tools. Another thing is that it's highly safe and it is focused on clarity. So when giving output, it's focused on how clear the information is given than the amount of information it should give. So it is more clear in its output and it's very safe in the sense that it does not share your data with anyone. So most of the chats you have with Claude gets lost immediately you end that chat. So once you end the chat, those information are deleted from the archive. Although they had an issue earlier where some of the chats that people had with them leaked, and that's why they decided to create this more safety, to add more safety to their tool, so that that issue does not repeat itself. So the strength of Cloud is that it's best for long form writing and document workflow. So if you are creating a workflow that requires documentation, maybe you want something that sends email to your customer, immediately they make purchase. You want something that sends, let's say, a Valentine message to your partner during Valentine's, seasonal greeting message or seasonal card and all those things. It is the best because it writes in human form. So even within your workplace, maybe you have to give a report, you have to document a process, you have to create you want to have to gather information and give an output. Just know that Cloud is the best for that because it is best when it comes to writing and documenting workflows, and also documents workflow. Anything that concern writing and documents is the best for it. Another strength is that it remains consistent in tone and structure. So the tone does not change midway. Like if you tell ChatGPT to tell you a story, it's find a hard time being consistent in mood and in tone before the end of the story. But Claude, sorry, this is the spelling C-L-A-U-D. I keep calling it Cloud, but it's actually Claude. I just typed the name in the chat box. So Claude is the best for tasks like this. And I think they also have a programming tool, and why the programming tool is very popular is that it gives you your code as if it's a human that wrote the code and not just giving you a random set of code. So it's a code that you can easily understand, and it's easier for you to improve on it. And you can easily talk to the code as you are using it. And one of the mistakes, or one of the greatest weakness of this particular tool is that it avoids some tasks more cautiously. So it avoids some things on purpose, and especially when it is things that, let's say, more matured content, like things concerning nudity or social justice problems and stuff like that. And sometimes it does this in a bid to be more human. So it's trying to pretend to be a human being. And for that, it knows that because of how human its output might be, it can greatly influence decision making and even processes in those things that it avoids generally. So just head-to-head comparison, just a brief summary of everything we said. ChatGPT is best for productivity and coding. Gemini is best for research and multimodal work. Claude is best for writing and detailed documents work. So each of them have their advantages, and these are the advantages. You can just take a screenshot of this to summarize most of the things I have said so far. Let me just give you a second to take that screenshot, then I can move to the next page. So I'm just going to give 3 industry examples of how you can use these different tools and the best tools to use in different problems. So if you are trying to automate chat workflow and FAQs, maybe you want to create something that is a chatbot, let's say on WhatsApp. If somebody needs more information about your business or want to make an order, the best to use is ChatGPT. Remember, I said it is more versatile. So because of that versatility, it's best to use it for your chat workflow and FAQs. That's frequently asked questions on your website. Maybe you want an AI tool to do those frequently asked questions, to answer those frequently asked questions. The best to do is ChatGPT. So I'm talking about in customer support, the best to use for chat workflow and FAQs is ChatGPT. Then when it comes to sentiment analysis, that is, you want to check the emotion of your customer, maybe based on the reviews they give on Amazon or reviews they give on Play Store or reviews that they give generally. I want to check sentiments on some issues that's happening on social media, general sentiments on it. Let's say maybe based on this recent issue that we're having about Trump and involvement in Nigerian politics and the rest. You want to check how do people generally feel about it. It's definitely that is the best to do. If you want to get clear and empathetic long-form support responses. So that is, you want is that if your user, a customer, makes a complaint, it has a response that sounds more human, that feels empathetic, that feels like whoever is responding actually relates to what the customer is saying. The best to use is Claude. Remember, I said Claude behave more like humans, so it's the best for all those things that has to do with emotion. So now you might know these tools, you might know the best, but you don't know how to do all these things with these same tools. Maybe you just know these tools for question and answer. As I said, I think after the next 10 minutes, somebody will take over and show you the process you can follow to learn all these things and use it efficiently. So for HR and operations, ChatGPT is best for if you want to create job description, interview, prompts and statements of purpose. So let's say, for example, you have a rule to fill within your company and you want to write what the rule is all about so that anytime somebody wants to apply for the job, they know what they're applying for, they know what they are going to do on the job. The best to use is ChatGPT. Remember, I said ChatGPT is very versatile. It has a large amount of knowledge, so it can easily break down knowledge from different fields into job description. So the best to use for job description is ChatGPT. And if you are preparing for interview or you want to give an interview to someone, the best to get questions that you can ask in interview is ChatGPT. Then if you want to analyze your workforce or want to make reports about workforce, the best to use is Gemini. So Gemini is the best for that because remember I said it gives multimodal support. So the best to use for that situation is Gemini. Then if you want to make internal communications within your company, that is, want to communicate to different departments, want to review employee performance, the best to use is Claude because Claude is more empathetic. It has more emotion than this other tool. So it's the best to give performance review and communicate internally within an organization. So when it comes to marketing, you can just screenshot this so I can have the full idea. But as I said, the slide is going to be sent to you once you fill that attendance form. So if you want to get this slide, fill the attendance form. If you want to get this recording, you fill the attendance form. So for marketing, the best for content ideas, campaign planning, and art copy. That is, if you want to get ideas for your content, you don't want to make a shoot next time, you don't know what to actually do in those videos, you can get ideas from ChatGPT. If you want to plan your campaigns, you can get from ChatGPT. I'm talking about in the marketing industry. Or you want to create an ad like this YouTube ad, maybe the words on those ads or the video, what you want the video to be all about, you can get those ideas from ChatGPT. So if you want to research trend, you want to analyze your audience, I want to make new discovery. Remember I said Gemini is good for research. The best for this is Gemini. If you want to create stories, because around brands, there are stories that brands try to tell. Each brand tries to, like Nike, just do it. Something about courage, bravery. If you want to use any AI tool to automate this process, the best to use is Claude. And if there's a particular tool that is called Anything, that is also used for workflow automation. And these are the particularities that Claude can do within Anything. It can be used to analyze documents, upload a file, get file metadata, list files, delete files, analyze image, generate prompts, improve prompts. So these are different things you can do. So it's these particular actions, they call these things actions. So it's these particular actions that you can use to create workflows that can automate process with this thing. So this is what Anthropic is also Claude. What Anthropic Claude can do in this. But as you can see from what you have learned so far, it's not everything that is the best to choose Anthropic for. So things that requires more human-related action. So let's say I want to analyze a document for internal communication. I think Anthropic Claude is the best for that. Maybe I want to upload a file that contains things concerning emotions, empathy, pity, social justice, and the rest. The best to use is Anthropic Claude. So there are so many other things, but now that I have the context of what is the strength of Anthropic Claude, I think you know when to use Anthropic Claude for this particular task. For Gemini, these are also things that Gemini could do. And if you notice, the first thing you notice from Gemini's ability is that they are more multimodal. See, now we are seeing things like analyze audio, transcribe a recording, analyze documents. Remember I said it is more analytical, it's best for research, and it's also multimodal. See, analyze an image, generates an image. So anything that you know that is outside of text, the first that should come to your mind is Gemini. So what I'm doing is not only text dependent on. The best thing to come to my mind is Gemini. And remember I also said it is also good to use it with other Google Workspace tools. That is like Gmail, Google Sheets, Google Chrome, and the rest. So OpenAI is ChatGPT. So these are all things you can use OpenAI to do within N8N. N8N is a workflow automation tool, and this you can use it to message a model, classify text for violation. And remember, I said it will be very good with classification because it has diverse knowledge. It is very versatile and it can do those things efficiently. But you can also see other multimodal things that it can do. But now we know the particular things we can use it to do within this framework, or where it shines compared to other tools within this framework. And this is an example of an n8n workflow that uses Gemini. So as you can see here, the why Gemini is the best here is that it was used to send a message on Gmail directly. So what he did here is that when you fill a form, like what I just explained now, you fill a form, then you get the recording, you get the slides and the rest. So this is like a workflow that does that. So here you see that it gets the form information, it gets some other information using HTTP, then it puts it into the AI agent. So this is how a workflow actually looks like. So what is actually controlling this AI agent is this Google Gemini chat model. So this chat model is what is controlling this agent. So this chat model will get this information from those submissions, pick what is important, then it can do this, can check call qualified lead classifier. So based on what you feel on this information, it will know if you are actually someone that needs this information. I'm talking about a more technical person, not like this one that is everyone that just joined the meeting that got it. But if there's a way we have to sieve within people that filled the form, Gemini can easily do that, because remember I said it is good with research, it's good with analytics, and it's be the same model that we use to create the message that I want to send via Gmail. Because as I mentioned earlier, Gemini is good with working with things within Google Workspace. So I think with that, we can now get to know how we can make the most of this information. We have learned the strengths, we have learned the weaknesses of these tools. Now, how can you become an expert in this? How can we use this knowledge that we have had to automate processing, not just ask questions? You can use this knowledge to ask questions to help you with problem, but now if you want to use it to automate workflow, how do you do that? So a colleague of mine is going to take over from here to help us to learn the specific steps we have to follow to gain the knowledge that we need to become AI automation professionals, or professionals when it comes to AI generally. Treasure, I don't know if you can hear me. Hello, Treasure, can you hear me?
Hi, if I
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Can you see me now?
Yes, we can see you.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that was a fantastic session end to end. Before Ifeanyi disappears and I start to talk about money and how you can make money and all that part, if you have any question, now will be a good time for you to ask your question. So you can raise your hands, you can, unmute your mic, drop your questions, because I feel like you should have a good amount of question when it comes to AI automation so that we can respond to your question. Okay. Hi, Adetunji. Yeah, please go on. Okay, let me give you access to speak. So we'll just take the first three people and then we move on to how you can actually make money from AI automation and how you can be a skilled professional. So 1 second while I give you access to. Okay, you can unmute your mic and speak. You are a co-host now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi, and thank you, Mr. How will I put it,
Treasure.
Treasurer. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. The question I want to ask is that when we are talking about AI and all that, is it about to use the AI that somebody can say that we are AI inclined, or ability to know how AI is being done? The AI you are talking about, like maybe Gemini, ChatGPT and all that, there's a brain behind it. There are some people, maybe an engineer, that really do them. You understand? So are we actually talking about how we can use those things they have done, that we can say, okay, we are AI inclined, or we are AI professional, or ability to know how they arrive on those things? That's number one aspect I want to talk about. Then number two is that I'm a banking officer. So how can I, you understand, how can I make use of this AI in such a way that it will be beneficial to me, then it will be beneficial to my career? So, and how to make money with it. So thank you so much. I'll be expecting the response.
All right. So I feel like we'll enter the next session once we're answering question 2. So if I please, just go on with the first question.
Okay. I think Sunji, that is a wonderful question. So AI as a whole brought a lot of opportunities to professionals in general. So we have what we call AI researchers, we have what we call AI engineer, and we have what we call AI automation engineers. So just knowing how to ask ChatGPT question does not really make you an AI professional. So you can become an AI researcher if you know how to create AI on its own. And that actually takes a lot of training. You have to go for a PhD or become very good in mathematics and the rest to become an AI researcher. But how you can become an AI professional, like someone that is strong in AI and actually make more money than even these researchers, is to become an AI automation engineer. So AI automation engineer is that you're improving business processes using AI. Or want to make marketing, I know some companies that actually cleared their customer support teams because AI was able to do these things. So your ability to create those systems for them, that is replace things that they were doing manually with AI, is what makes you an AI automation engineer. Then we have what we call AI engineer, just AI engineer, no automation in the name this time. So what AI engineer does is that they add AI into tools, like into products, into websites, into apps. Like if you are someone that use OP, you can see some things that AI is now doing in OP. If you are someone that use Google, for example, you see that AI mode. So the AI researcher created that Gemini. Then the person that imputed Gemini into the website, or the person that imputed Gemini into this Google Meet as you are seeing it, is an AI engineer. So there are different opportunities in AI, and not just your ability to not just ask questions, like just prompt it and give you an answer, separates you from a novice or from an everyday person. Your ability to automate processes with AI and use AI to improve products is what makes you a sound AI professional. And to your second question about bank officer, so if you know that you work with documents in any way, whether it's Google Sheets, whether it's Microsoft Word or Microsoft or Google Docs, all those kind of things, if you work with documents in any way, just know that you can improve those processes with AI. You can use AI to help you in documentation. You can use AI to help you with analytics in those processes. You can use AI to improve your way of getting data. Because I know banking officer is actually a broad term. You can be an investment banker, you can be customer deposits banker and the rest. So if you're an investment banker, you can automate processes of making research about businesses, about banks. Even when it comes to forex, if you're in forex or you're in stocks, right now, as I mentioned, banking officer is broad. So you can use AI to actually automate those processes. You can use AI to automate reporting. So you know that every time at the end of each quarter, maybe you create a report using information from different departments or maybe from your own personal departments. AI can actually improve those processes, can automate those processes for where you don't have to be doing it every quarter. Just do it in one quarter, and for the subsequent quarter, AI will do it for you. I don't know if I was able to answer your question, Adetunji. Okay. Treasure, you can go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah, so let's just take Basi because I see he's the only other person before we move on to the other aspect. So okay, hi Basi. You can go ahead with your question. Hi Basi, are you there? You have access to unmute your mic if you are there, if you can hear me. Okay, I'll assume that he can't hear me. If you do come up at any point, you can also drop your questions in the chat. Ifeanyi would still be very much available to take each and everyone's questions before we
Hello,
are
can you hear
able to
me?
wrap up. Okay, hi Basi, yes we can.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Ifeanyi, thank you very much for the session. I want to find out if Claude is free. And then if yes, how can one register for it? Or what's the website? Because I'm already using Gemini, but I've not used Claude before. So I want to find out
Okay.
how to go about the process of activation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that. So Claude has a free version and they have a version where you have to pay for. So if you want to use for more advanced things, you have to pay for it. But Claude also, you can also use, like if you want to use Claude in automation process, within those particular tools, you can connect the paid version. It has to be the paid version. But in most cases, I think the unpaid version can do most of the things you need it for. Like the free version can do most of the things you need it for. So I'm just going to copy the link to where you can access Claude and drop it in the chat box so that you'll be able to access it. So the link is in the chat box now.
All right, thank you. Ifeanyi. Basi, are you clear on that?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so now we're moving on to the session in terms of, you've heard a lot about ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. But just to let you know, those are not the only AI tools that are available at the moment. Those are like what will I say now? The basics that you need to know when it comes to AI. Like if you've never heard of ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, at this point you're living under a rock because it is literally everywhere. But there are some more. Don't know if someone's hand is raised. Hilary, we're out of time for questions. You can drop your question in the chat so that Ifeanyi can take your question. So there are quite a lot more of these tools. There are some that are more specialized to specific industries, and there are others that they are more generalized and can be used in whatever industry, depending on if it's just workflow. Things like Anything is more, general and broad and can be used across industries. But something like Perplexity AI, quadratic AI as well is just those are more niche down roles. So for Bricks AI, those are more like data analytics roles. For Perplexity, that's more projects management, business analytics industry. So there are varieties of all of this particular AI tools, but how do you benefit and what would be some potential career pathways for someone who is looking to get started in AI automation and does not have any idea of, how to go about it? Because a lot of information is out there basically stating that, oh yes, you need to learn AI. AI is not coming for your job unless you join the bandwagon. There's like this and that and that, and there's so much information to absorb. But why should you get started making use of AI? So some of the reasons and some of the benefits. If you are someone that wants to still stick with your current career pathway, I'm a banker, I'm a lawyer, I'm a nurse, you can still 100% do that. But how can you differentiate yourself from others, and how can you make your life 100 times easier? How can you get things done in less than something that you spend an hour, 2 hours doing? How can you do it in less than 5 to 10 minutes? That is what you'll be using when it comes to AI, and that's some of the benefits. Uh, can anyone see my screen? If you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up or a reaction. Or can you hear me? Okay. Uche, you can. Okay. All right, great. I have not started like showing up the major information, but yeah, we'll get to that. So what I was still trying to mention is if you are still in a specific field, like AI automation, if you're still in a specific field, like as a lawyer, as a marketer, as a data specialist, as a hairdresser, as a business owner, and you're saying, oh, okay, why do I need AI? I'm still very much okay where I am. What's the benefit of it? I'm not looking to get into tech. I'm not looking to get started. But AI is not just for people looking to get into tech. And that's a notion that I want to correct people on. It is for anyone who is looking to make their life easier, who is looking to be more productive on whatever role that they are currently doing. Okay. So as a banker, how can I ensure that we've not been meeting our quota at every we've not been meeting our quota at every quarter of the year. How can I ensure that we can do better than that going into the next quarter? So Q1 wasn't as great as Q2. So what are the things that happened in Q1? Okay, what are the issues that were currently faced, and how can I ensure that it doesn't happen? For you to do that, you need to analyze the data. There's historical data, there's predictive data, there's all of that, but you need to visually see it for you to be able to make recommendations. Okay, so these are some of the things that can easily be done with AI. Okay, you don't need to stress yourself. Once you have your case study, once you have your data set, then you can build on that and have your dashboard ready. As a business owner for your business operations, you're saying that, oh, my company isn't making as much sales as it needs to, or you're not getting as much customers as it needs to. So how can I analyze companies or businesses in a 5-10 mile radius from me and see what they are doing and implement in mine? How can I do that competitors analysis? This is not me getting into tech. This is me trying to solve my everyday problem as a business owner. And this is where you can also infuse AI into it. So I just want to clarify that you don't need to only be transitioning to tech to want to use AI. You can use AI in your role. Okay, you can just upskill yourself, get an understanding of how to make use of AI, and then you can get into that as soon as possible. But if you're looking to transition into things like AI automation engineering, AI data analyst, AI business analyst, these are very key roles that are going up every single day. And just to really let you know that the salary expectations for anyone looking to do AI automation engineering is nothing less than 700,000 naira in naira, and it can go as high up to 2 million naira. If you're talking about the US and Canadian market, the salary expectation is between nothing less than 50 to 60,000 USD. It can go up to anything for 1 to 150,000 USD annually. So these are some of the roles that you're going to benefit if you start now, because right now it's not saturated. You don't have a lot of people doing it because AI just came about, and this is where this comes in. So we have a 3-process step on how to achieve this when it comes to being an AI automation specialist, AI data analyst, and all that. For you to be able to achieve this, or for you to be able to, make more money where you are, you need to be able to learn a in-demand skill. And at the moment, the top in-demand skills that you have is data, there's tech, there's AI, there's prompting, social influence. There's nowhere you go right now that you don't see content creators. In every space, there are content creators, because that's one of the most in-demand skills that you need right now. That's where it comes to social influence. AI is everywhere as well. Data is also very important, because for you to make any decision, you need to have the right amount of data. Okay, so you need to find one key skill that is highly in demand and learn it. Okay, so learning it is not you watching a couple of YouTube videos and saying, now I'm an AI specialist, or I'm an AI engineer. Just like Ifeanyi mentioned, there's a great difference between an AI engineer and an AI automation engineer. Anyone can wake up and say, I'm an AI engineer, but you can't wake up to say you're an AI automation engineer. They are two quite different things entirely. Okay, so even with prompting, a lot of people make use of these different AI tools, but don't know how to prompt effectively, and that's why they spend a lot of time on specific results. So it's just important that you need to learn the in-demand skills that can get you your desired role. The next step is for you to now package. So learning is not just learning the videos, watching videos, and that's it. You need to practicalize what you learn. You can't just watch videos and that'll be the end of it. If you've not worked with anything, I'm so sorry, you can never get a job as an AI automation specialist or an N8N specialist. So you do need to understand how to make use of it. And that's why you need to start small. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to build what's the biggest complicated workflow. You need to start with simple workflow. How can I send message or an email from myself to my colleague without actually having to type it? So that's a very important aspect to it. So you need to be able to make use of the skills that you already have. So practicals are super important. You don't just base your learning on just on watching videos and calling it a day. You need to actually put in the skills, and that's something that would hold accountable, we hold you accountable for, okay? Especially if you're taking any of our courses. It's very important that you're doing your practicals week in, week out, because that goes into building your project portfolio. And that is one of the key, single most important thing when it comes to AI automation engineering. If you are a developer, you know, one of the major things they'll ask you, what are the projects you've worked on? And this is very similar with AI automation engineering. So what projects have you worked on? What is your results? What have you done before? So even if it's something as a simple personal project, it can be the difference between you getting a job and you not getting one. So that's why it's very important that you work on your project portfolio. Then we help you with revamping your CV. We help you with interview preparation. We also provide you with job reference. So Tenalytics Business is a subset of Tenalytics, and Tenalytics is based out of Canada. So our certification is internationally recognized, so you can use it anywhere in the world. If you go through our page, most of the individuals that have gotten job from here in Nigeria, or Africans in the diaspora, making use of our certificate in the UK, US, Canada, in Spain, in Barcelona, it's all over the world. So it is internationally recognized and you can make use of it at any point. So the next step is for you to be able to apply. You don't need to apply 100 or 50 applications a day. I promise you, you're going to burn out. It's very important that you are more tactical with your approach. So ensuring that you're applying for roles that you're a really good fit for, and then also ensuring that you have a tailored resume for it, will increase your odds of actually getting that particular role. So with these simple steps, you can easily get the job. What would differentiate you from the rest is how you're able to persevere, so to say. Okay, so you don't just apply and you call it a day. You send cover letters to individuals. You email at least 3 decision makers for this particular role you're applying for. That's the hiring manager, the recruiter, and someone in managerial position. And you're not just sending them an email, oh, I applied and that's it. You highlight your key achievements. You attach your resume. You make connections with individuals in that company because they can be your advocates at the end of the day. Okay, when you're reaching out to the CEO or COO of a company, you add a value-added document. Research the organization. Oh, what are some of the loopholes they're having at the moment? There was someone that I actually spoke to before he got a job as a product designer. He wasn't asked of it, but he created a page. Okay, the website page, he redesigned it and sent it as a value-added document. And he was given that job based off that fact. So how can you think outside the box from where you currently are? Those are the standout individuals that get roles, especially if you're looking for foreign roles. You cannot do the ordinary and expect your extraordinary. It's not going to happen. So you need to break the box to be able to achieve that goal. Working with individuals that have gotten jobs across the globe in the US, Canada. I've worked with senior professionals, IT project manager, because I'm a project manager, and for them to land each of these roles, it takes a lot. Okay, it goes beyond interviews. All the little things that you do outside the interview that really solidifies your chance of landing a role. Okay, and getting that more than $50K salary and 10% signing bonus. There's quite a lot of benefit in the benefit package. So it's just important to go through the process end to end. And one thing you should know is rejection is part of the process. But if you give up when you are rejected, I promise you, kiss your foreign job dreams goodbye. It doesn't work like that. So you should also prepare your mind that it's not a straightforward road. That once you start applying, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I'm going to get the job in 2-3 months. You can't really predict it to that level. So just always know at the back of your mind that rejection is also part of the process and embrace it. Okay, so that's one way you can easily get roles in AI automation. So moving on, you can see that we've had quite a lot of people that have gone through this process, build their project portfolio, and it has landed them jobs across the world. So there's Victor, there's Lemoy, there are quite a lot of people. So once you go through the slides, at the very end, you'd see the individuals that have potentially gotten job and those that have actually gotten full visa sponsorship. I'm talking foreign roles here. So make sure that you're filling the attendance so that you have access to the information at the end of the day. So now the next step is Treasure. How can I get started in this process? Okay, I want to learn how to make use of AI in my current job role, or I'm looking to transition into tech. What are the next steps for me? So you're in luck because our next program is starting 8th of November. And in that program, we have 5 different courses that we're looking to, take for that session. So there's AI automation engineer. So if you stay through what Ifeanyi taught, that's just, he didn't even scratch the tip of the iceberg. He just showed you the different tools, the barest minimum that you can use. If you're talking about tools with more complexity, technicalities that can give you greater workflows, you're looking at all the tools on my screen. So where you see technologies like Anytime, Flowwise, Airtable, Claude, Zapier, there are so many tools. You're going to be building chatbots, chat agents. You're going to be understanding the different multi-channel systems. There's just a lot that you're going to be working with for this. And the end goal of it is to ensure that you can get that job at the end of the day. So for AI automation engineering, or the entire programs that we have, you have 4 different opportunities. The first one is you can get a full-time role here in Nigeria or across the world. The second one is you can get a job as a freelancer. So all those Upwork, the different freelancing platforms, the project portfolio that you have decided that you don't want to create, because I'm too lazy, I can't go, I don't know how to go about it and things like that. That would be your entrance to getting $20, $50 per hour for you working on a particular workflow. You're getting your money and you're out the door. And this doesn't even need to affect your current day-to-day 9-to-5 job that you're working on. So that's another pathway for you. The third one is if you learn this, you can also, whatever product or workflow that you create, you can send that and sell it to companies, okay? So you are not limited on what you can do when you get your certificate. And finally, for tools like N8N, trust me, there are quite a lot of individuals that are looking to learn specific tools, N8N installer, N8N specialist, all that. They want to know how to go about it, but they don't want to take a full course. You can be an N8N teacher, okay? Whatever tools that you want to learn, you can also teach to other people. So these are like money-making skills out of all this, okay? And then personally to you, if you have a business or if you're working in whatever career that you're currently doing, it sets you apart, okay? If your company needs someone to analyze data and get it done as soon as possible, you can easily do that at the blink of an eye. So it's just very important that you see the part beyond just learning. You feel 2 months is too short for me or too long for me to learn this course, but then again, trust me, are you thinking about okay, I want to make what 800,000, a million, 2 million naira by next year 2026? What are the things that I need to start doing now to ensure that I achieve that dream? And this is where you need to start. I want to get into AI, I don't know how to get started. This is a very good place for you to start as well. So classes are going to be Saturdays and Sundays. So on Saturdays, classes are going to be in the morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it doesn't disrupt your day-to-day activities or you going to work, because we specially curated this program for individuals, that are working, that are students. You have a bit more flexibility or time during the weekend. So you can either join Saturday or Sunday classes, and you'll be making sure you're working on different projects week in, week out. Okay, so that's just one course. Then you have generative AI for data analytics and generative AI for HR. So as a data analyst, quite a lot of people hate certain things like SQL. I remember every time that we have to take a class and write queries, half the class are complaining, there's this problem, there's that problem, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. But what if you don't even need to do that as an AI data analyst, and you can have it done for you in less than 10 minutes? That would be fantastic. It cuts down all your stress and all your worries. So apart from the basic tools you need to know as a data professional, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL, you're going to be taking it a step further. Using specific AI tools like Bricks AI, Quadratic AI, Zebra AI to sort of improve what you currently have, okay? And then you get things done faster and quicker. You are a lot more productive as an AI data analyst. You can focus your energy on your own personal business while still working for a company. Like it's something that they would need you to get done in 8 hours. You do it in 5-10 minutes and you put your energy somewhere else. So these are some of the benefits you're going to be achieving by going through the program. And then you have the generative AI for HR analysts. HR professionals are not left out of the chat, because what is also super important for you is how can you understand your entire processes? Okay, how do you understand attrition rates? How do you understand your staff performances? How can you visualize how why people or why some of your staff are leaving the company. How can you put into very strong reasonings so that you'll be able to you'll be able to make decision based off your organization or based off the data to improve your organization. So these are the things that you'll be looking at when it comes to generative AI for HR analytics. You understand the basic of HR analysis, and then you get the added element of how to make use of the different AI tools to improve your processes, just so that all those classes are 100% practical and beginner friendly. Okay, we'll start from the very basis and walk you through the entire process till you become a professional. Okay, so you just need to be very willing to listen and to put into practice whatever your facilitator is going to be teaching you. Classes are also going to be 100% recorded, and you'd have access to it once, if you miss class for whatever reason, you always have access to go over those videos. And then you have the final one, which is AI for project management, and then there is AI in business analysis as well. So for those ones, those are my favorite aspects to learn because I am a project manager. So you'll be dealing with the different projects. So the entire project life cycle, talking about working from the beginning to the project closure as well. From planning to project closure, you'll be working entirely on that. But instead of you doing simple things or not so simple things like Gantt chart, your WBS, your project charter, your business case, talking about stakeholder meetings, reports, all that would be automated. I love using Trello, using Notion AI because it makes my life easier. I get to monitor tasks without actually having to go to it every 2 seconds to check. And these are some of the benefits you get from AI project management. But then there's also AI in business analysis. And this is super important for business analysts, business professionals, business owners as well. So how can you analyze your business to improve the entire process workflow? How can you do that to, improve the productivity of whatever company or organization? So these also key into business, and then how you can walk through it, understand, and then make strong decisions for your business as well. So this is what we have for AI in business analysis. And if you want to go through each of the curriculum, the open program information is there. So you can go through the details and you have a strong understanding of what you need to do or what you'll be learning for each of the classes. So these are the 5 programs that we have going into November. And all those classes start this Saturday. So you literally have between today and latest tomorrow morning to register for the program. And the important aspect, Treasure, how much does it cost? So initially for AI project management, it goes for 200,000, but now it's currently running at a 50% discount, so 100,000. AI business analysis used to be 200,000, but discounted price, we have 100,000 as well. Then for AI automation, 150,000. You have AI in DA, you have 100,000 naira discounted price. And AI for HR professional is also 100,000 naira. So these are the courses you have available. Treasure, I don't have 100,000 naira to pay all at once. I have work, I have family, I have this, I have that. Fantastic, that's quite all right. So just to make sure that you are able to commit properly, you can make payments in 2 to 3 installments. So for AI in project management, AI in data analytics, AI in business analysis, AI in HR professional, you can either make full payment, you can pay 2 installments, that's 50,000 naira now, 50,000 naira at the end of November, or you can pay 3 installments, 40,000 naira now, 40,000 naira end of November, and 30,000 naira at the end of December. Then for AI automation, you can pay 50, 50, 50. So these are the breakdowns for the different programs. So whichever one that you choose to go for, you can, someone's hand raised now. Okay, if whichever one you choose to go for, you have the possibility to get that done in simple bits or in smaller bits for you to achieve that. So at this point, I'm going to, take a pause and ask if there are any questions before we move a step further into the session. So are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, you can raise your hand, and I would go ahead to respond to your questions. Okay, Adetunji, let's just go ahead to make you a host. All right, hi Adetunji, go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you, Treasures. Thank you so much. What I want to
Mm-hmm.
ask is that for AI in data analytics, so I want to ask that you mentioned the other time, must somebody have the understanding of SQL, all those Power BI, all those things before you now talk of generative AI, or it doesn't matter even when somebody does not really know much about all those things, all those tools, then you can see catch up with generative AI, or before we can do or master this generative data analysis, we must have understanding of all those tools like SQL, Power BI, Tableau, or even Excel and all those things. So that's what I want to ask.
Okay, so what we basically did is before you start your generative AI for DA class, we have what we call foundational videos that is on our LMS platforms. It covers the key data analytics tools that you need to know for the at the very limit before you can start talking about the AI aspect. For you to start talking about AI in what Excel, Power BI, you need to have gone through the processes. Have you built a dashboard on either of those platforms? Do you understand the functions? Do you understand how to use slider? So all that is covered in the foundational aspect. Then for your live classes, we're also going to be starting off, with, how do I explain it now? With touches of the different tools and the foundation of generative AI and how it influences a data analyst before you now start to slowly build on the specific tools you're going to be making use of in generative AI for DA. So if you had joined our previous session, you'd see that generative AI or for DA, HR, BA was all a 1 month program, but now it has been stretched so that we can cover quite a lot more tools and ensure that people have stronger and better understanding when it comes to generative AI for data analytics. But to answer your question directly, you need to have basic understanding of these 4 tools because that's the key aspect for data analytics. But you'd have access to those information in the foundational videos in the LMS before you now move over to the generative AI aspect of the class. So that's the structure to ensure that those who are beginners also get to benefit from the class without them having to struggle with people that already call data analytics or data analyst professionals. I don't know if that answers your questions, Adetunde. Okay, so Adetunde, are you going for the generative AI for DA class?
Yes, yeah, I'm going for yes, the. So,
Okay,
so
okay.
I've already seen
All right.
Uche on that already.
Okay, okay. All right, fantastic. Good to hear. I guess Uche will continue communicating with you on that. So are there any other questions? Please don't feel shy. Go ahead to ask your question. We have all the way to 10 p.m. So if you have any questions, there is no stupid questions. I would always say that you can go ahead to ask your questions. If you don't want to speak because probably you're shy, you can drop your questions in the chat. I'm also monitoring that as well, and I would respond to any questions that anyone has. Okay, can we just have that? Let's have that. Let's have that. This is a very cold and quiet um, spot right now. We still have about 30 people on the call, so I'm expecting quite a lot more engagement. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know how many people we still have on this call. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. Has everyone gone to bed? Okay, Pearl can hear me. Ayatunde can hear me. Uh, yeah, hi, of our sessions. Are you looking to join any of the programs, or do you have anything that you would need me to clarify on? Hiya, hiya. You can drop the comments in the chat. You can raise your hand, whatever works for you. Hiya, hiya. Are you there? Okay. No response. So we have who? Annie Gold, Anointed Schools. There's Ima, Ayotunde, Basi. Okay, let's see. United Schools say, let's go. The automation course, is it different from others or encompasses all others? Okay, so AI automation engineer is the umbrella of every other generative AI course you see. So majority of the tools that you're going to be learning in generative AI for DA, HR analytics, BA, projects management is all in AI automation engineer. So I feel like quite a lot of people get distraught when they hear the name engineer because they feel like, oh, it's going to be a highly technical course. This is a no-code tech skill, like a low-code to no-code tech skills. You're going to be working with different tools. So it's like a plug and play aspects that you're going to be doing. The whole idea is for you to be able to automate workflows end to end. So even if you are a school teacher, even if you are a nurse, how can I automate my workflow, the processes that I have, my SOP? How can I make sure that I limit the manual process or human input, and then it is automated? My reports, how can I do that? So that's where you find AI automation engineer. But if you're looking at more niche role as a DA, I'm looking to get started as a DA. I'm a data professional, that's a data scientist, data analyst, or data engineer. How can I improve my workflow in data analytics using the different tools? Okay, that's what you have there. For projects management, I monitor projects end to end. Okay, I make use of Trello, Jira, Asana, Notion, Miro. How can I automate my processes end to end? So when you're talking about niche roles, you now speak on generative AI for them. But if you're talking about the umbrella that encompasses all other information, the all other tools you're going to be working with, then that's AI automation engineer. United Schools, I hope that, does that clarify your question? United Schools, you can give me a thumbs up, you can put it in the chat. I'm not sure if I'm getting any reaction from you. Hi, United Schools, are you there? Okay, I think there's more questions. Okay, how can one apply automation in a school, for example? Oh, fantastic. Let's start from the basics. As a class teacher, how can I automate my entire process? As a class teacher, I'm expected to create a curriculum. There are class periods. I'm okay. What do they call it now? Is this lesson notes or something like lesson schedule? I'm supposed to also create that. I'm also supposed to grade my students' assignments, grade their tests and exam. How can I do that without actively being in the process? So for the grading aspect, anything can create a workflow where it would trigger, just like the way you have your CBT exams, okay, where it would trigger the responses of what a student is supposed to respond to for an exam for each of those questions, and it grades it automatically without you having to test it at all. All you need to do is give it the active prompts that it needs to work on, and then whatever questions, there's a question, there's an answer, there's a marking guide. Yeah, I think that's what they call it, a marking guide. So it tests the flow end to end and able to grade that response. Question. Teachers at the moment use ChatGPT to build their curriculum, and for each of the lessons that they want to teach, they can get that. If you're looking at getting pictorial videos, visual audiovisual tools that you need to teach your students, you also get that on the different platforms. If you're talking about, let's say, a biology class and you want to talk about dissection and you want like different pictures, you don't have to manually go to Google to start searching. You can use ChatGPT Sora to generate those pictures. It should also give you YouTube videos and links that you can, make use of. So it just consolidates all your work into one place. If you prompt correctly, you get that information. That's from a class teacher perspective. If you're talking from an administrative perspective, so before your students, become a student, an actual student, they have certain fees that they need to pay for. Okay, so the operations of also managing your teachers, their activities, making sure that they do things that are when due, you can also be automated using the different AI tools for workflow. sending newsletters, sending information for specific events that you want for your school to host. It can also be done and automated using AI tools. So these are some of the simple ways. Your financials, your financial books. You can also have a sales dashboard. If you also want to quantify between first, second, and third term, what were your students' highest performance in first term for a particular course as compared to second term? You were able to find that out. What are the issues that they've been facing and how can you improve on? You find that out. Based off the analysis, what are the recommendations? AI would also give that to you. So these are some of the ways you can automate your workflow as a school administrator, class teacher, imputing AI into that. And this helps you because you don't have to manually put in things. Because I know people still make use of tellers, people will transfer money. So how am I going to calculate that? How can I create a live dashboard that I can see transfers and payments at a go? Okay, that's something you can do with AI. So there is a plethora of things you can use making use of AI. So that's just one aspect to it. And entered school, I don't know if that responds. Okay, this means there must be. Funny enough, you can create a website using AI tools. Like if you're using Replit, Replit is an AI tool that I just like messed around with. All you need to do is prompt it entirely on what you want it to do. If you want it to monitor the activities of, like, you won't say it just like that. You need to be very explicit in your prompting, or else you will not get the appropriate website. If you want it to create a live dashboard that monitors and tracks the activities of payments of your students, or students typically paying just like the way we have it in this course, there's first, second, and third installment, or do they pay full payment? So you would have that stated there, and then sort of analyzes that and puts into a live dashboard. If someone makes payments, how do you track that? If someone is trying to make payments and abandons cart at some point, how do you track that? These are some of the things you put into the prompts that you're creating. And at the end of the day, it creates a working prototype that you can use effectively to track activities, to see all the different instances that I've also mentioned. So yeah, these are some of the ways you can use it for your schools. And you can also get your teachers to take an AI course. It just improves their productivity level. Instead of them having to go through multiple training, it makes their work easier and faster for them, rather than them having to do things manually, like marking scripts. God, I remember when I was in school, I hated marking because that thing takes forever. But if you can have an automatic grading system, it just puts you right on the map with other schools in the world, in US, Canada, and all. So United School, I hope I've been able to respond to your question effectively, and looking forward to seeing you and potentially your teachers in the session for AI automation engineer, because I feel like that's a very strong aspect that would cover most of the things that you've mentioned. Pearl said, does this mean someone who took the AI automation course can create automation for all niches, right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. So for myself, I'm going to speak for myself. When I started data analytics, I didn't finish the course. I've always run away from that course because of SQL. I hated having to write those queries. I was always typically very annoyed with that. But I can make use of anything to create a dashboard, okay, on SQL. I can make use of anything to track my tasks as a project manager. I can make use of anything to send out emails. I can make use of anything to create a chatbot, a voice chatbot. Okay, I can make use of anything. So this is just one tool that is doing multiple activities. It's not just stuck with only one thing that he needs to do or do. But for things like Bricks AI, Quadratic AI, they are better for just data analysis end to end. But things like Notion AI, Perplexity, Mario AI, they are specifically for project managers. It's not going to do a lot for you if you are not in the project management space. So that's just the differences between all of these things that I have mentioned. Okay, I think I've gone through all the questions. Pearl, I don't know if you were able to catch that. If you are still on the call as well, you can give a thumbs up. You can type a yes, a no. And if you want me to explain some more, I can also go ahead with that. But I hope I've been able to answer your questions effectively. If you have any other question, please, you can raise your hand. You can write in the chat. You can, get my attention from any way so that we can also get through it. if you are still on this call, all 26 of you, it means that you have very, very, very strong interest because you are listening to me talk. So I've left it on this page. You can take a screenshot of what is on here. Go ahead to make payments directly, pay to these account details. Like I mentioned, you can pay 70, you can pay 150, you can pay 100, 50K, whatever works for you within the stipulated amount. You can go ahead to make payments. If you don't also want to go through paying on the CUDA account and you're worried, oh, it's an account details, how do I trust it? Well, you can go to the landing page directly. Once you click on register to secure your spot, you fill in the details for yourself and you would eventually land in Paystack. So put in my name, my phone number details, put in the title, put in the organization, put in your skill sets, you move on. So it shows you the program details. So you can either join the November or December course, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, Treasure, I'm busy, I can't start now. You can make part payments now for December, because once we enter December, a lot of people know how money just disappears. So you can click on November. What's your payments plan? If you want to make payments in full, you can make payments 2 installments. So if you're a company HR person and you are paying for just more than one person, you just indicate that here. If I'm paying for 4 people, I can also indicate that here. Then I continue. Why are you registering for the program? To gain more knowledge, whatever reason you are registering for the program for, you state. How did you hear about us? Just fill that. And I click on complete registration. Once I have done that, it's going to redirect me to Paystack. So you can either make payments with your card, you can make payments. I mentioned 2 installments for 4 people. So that's 50K. That gives me 200,000. I can pay with my card. Someone's hand up. Let's see. Okay. You can pay with your card. You can make transfer. You can pay by bank, you can pay with USSD. So you can make payments with all this. And once you successfully completed your payments, then your details are saved and we'll send you the onboarding package. Please, if you're registered for any of the AI classes, it's super important that you register now so we can give you access to your onboarding meeting. The onboarding meeting is tomorrow. So registration needs to be done today, latest tomorrow morning, so that you are part of that and you have everything in the onboarding welcome kit and you can get started as soon as possible. So I've just run you through the process end to end. So I'm just going to take it all the way back to the open program. Let's share this tab instead so that you can see. If you don't want to go through that and you want to pay directly from account details, just go through CUDA accounts and then you make your payment. So let's see if there are any other questions. Pearl. Okay, was this attended to? Oh God, yeah. Pearl, I already responded to your question. I mentioned that AI automation, the tools you'll be working like the superior, I won't say superior tools, but it covers all different niches. So whether you are in finance or you are a school teacher, it majorly just focuses on the different workflow. So anything can go to create things in finance space, sales, customer service, educator, but tools like Quadratic AI, Perplexity AI, these are specifically for niche roles, like for data analytics and project management, like Notion AI and Miro AI. But if you are learning anything, it can cut across. Even if I'm a project manager, I'm still going to be making use of anything. So that's just the difference. Pearl, I don't know if you caught that now. Okay, if you did, that would be fantastic. Then they said, I asked whether the class is physical. No, the classes is 100% virtual. So just like as I'm speaking to you, you have a facilitator that will be talking to you. And why we see that to be superiorly effective is because the classes are recorded. But if you do need a one-on-one conversation with your facilitator, you would always have access to the facilitator over and over again. And even when you're done with your program, we don't disband the group. You would be on the group. If you have any questions, if you need us to prep you for an interview, you also have access to, all right, great. You also have access to those information as well. And the recording is for life. It doesn't, you don't lose access at any point. you will always be on your Google Classroom. So once you do that, just go ahead to register for any of the program. If it's AI for HR or DA, if you don't want to pay 100K right now, you can make a commitment with 40K and you have access to all the information. For AI automation, you can pay 50K and you start your class, and you're able to break it as well. So I hope I've been able to. Okay, then there is good, Pearl is good. Does any other person? Oh, someone's hand is raised. I'm so sorry. Okay, then his hand is raised. Let me still give him an opportunity to speak if he wants to still say something. Nende, are you there? Hi, Nende, are you there? You can unmute your mic if you still want to go on with your question.
No, thank you very much. My question has been answered. Thank you, Treasure.
Okay, so which of the program are you looking to go for?
Generative AI for data analytics.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So, like I mentioned, you can go through the open program link and make payments with this account. Please just try to lock in your discount between this night and tomorrow morning so you can join the onboarding class and you get your onboarding kit. The session will be latest, I think, 8 p.m., but we would need to sort out all the information before then. So please just lock in. Like I said, you don't need to pay the full amount. If you want to go and be doing that, that's still fine as well. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so next question. I can see Bassie's. Is there no brochure for the different courses? Yes, there are brochures. That would be sent across to you. But if you also come on this page, you can see the curriculum for each of them. So this is the curriculum. If you click on view curriculum, you can go through all the information in terms of what you'll be working on end to end from week 1 to week 8. You have access to going through that. But then there are also brochures. If you filled in the attendance form, you get access to that. So that will be shared across with you. The next question is, are the videos downloadable? No, the videos are not downloadable, but you have access to watching them 100%. Ask me why, because we've had issues in the past where people shared the downloaded videos with others and it goes against intellectual property. You can always go back to view it, but you won't be able to download it. Basi, I hope that responds to your question. Hi, Basi, did you catch that? Okay, I would assume you did. So Annie, Ima, David, Florence, George, if you guys are still on, let me know if you have any questions. If not, please just go ahead to lock in your discounts right now. Like I mentioned, you can pay this as little as 40,000 naira to get started for the session. Okay. All right. That being said, I think we can call it a wrap for tonight. If you need any further guidance, we also have clarity sessions. So if you want to have a tete-a-tete talk, you can book a clarity session and then we'll go through specific information. We'll take time to sort of diagnose your situation, understand your background, and then sort of recommend what pathway will be best for you. So there's a clarity session. My colleagues will drop the link, so you can also book a clarity session and then we discuss further. If you're also HR here and you are not only focused on AI, but you have other training needs for your organization, you can still reach out to me. My email is there. So if you can see this, we've worked with quite a good number of reputable companies, and it's not just on AI or tech related courses. There was things on like sexual harassment, leadership skills. There are things on CISSP. So that's IT, there's soft skills. So if you need to train your staff, if you're CEO or HR here, and you want us to provide a training session for you, you can go ahead to send an email to myself, which is treasure@analytics.org. So I'm going to drop that on the chat. RG. Or you can also reach out to me on my phone line, and then we can kickstart a conversation. Okay? But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. I had an amazing time responding to your questions. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you that stayed up to this point in the session starting November 8th. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your evening. Bye, guys. Cheers.